What's up guys, it's your boy the Chat Kid coming back at you with a new video. Sorry for not uploading a week, I haven't got really an excuse other than a bit lazy really. Today we've got a new creepypasta. It's called The Smiling Man, you might have heard of it. There's a very good animation and a very good live action movie made about it. By 2am and Llama Art respectively. I got those in the wrong order. Anyways, no waffle time, let's go. Oh. Pissing out loud, my bad. I think that's a bit too loud. About 5 years or so, I lived downtown in a major city in the US. I've always been a night person, so I would often find myself bored after my roommate, who was decidedly not a night person, went to sleep. To pass the time, I used to go for long walks and spend the time thinking. I spent 4 years like that, walking alone at night. I never once had a reason to be afraid. I always used to joke with my roommate that even the drug dealers in the city were polite, but all that changed in just a few minutes on one evening. It was a Wednesday, somewhere between 1 and 2 in the morning, and I was walking near a police-patrolled park quite a ways from my apartment. It was a quiet night, even for a weekend, with very little traffic and almost no one afoot. The park, as it was most nights, was completely empty. I turned down a short side street in order to loop back to my apartment when I first noticed him. At the far end of the street on my side was a silhouette of a man, dancing. It was a strange dance, similar to a waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride. I guess you could say he was dance walking, headed straight for me. Deciding he was probably drunk, I stepped as close as I could to the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to pass by me. The closer I got, however, the more I realised how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall and lanky and wearing an old suit. He danced close still until I could make out his face. His eyes were open wide and wild, head tilted back slightly, looking off at the sky. His mouth was formed into a painfully wide cartoon of a smile. Between the eyes and the smile, I decided to cross the street before he danced any closer. I took my eyes off him to cross the empty street. As I reached the other side, I glanced back, and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing and was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me. He was facing me, but still looking skyward, smile still wide on his lips. I was completely and utterly unnerved by this. I started walking again, but kept my eyes on him. He didn't move. Once I'd put half a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and the sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty. Still unnerved, I looked back to where he had been standing to find him gone. For the briefest of moments I felt relieved until I noticed him. He had crossed the street and now slightly crouched down. I couldn't tell for sure the distance in the shadows, but I was certain he was facing me. I looked away from him more than 10 seconds, so it was clear he moved fast. I was so shocked that I stood there for some time, staring at him. And then he started moving towards me again. He took giant, exaggerated tiptoe steps, as if he was a cartoon character sneaking up on someone. Except he was moving very, very quickly. I'd like to say at this point I ran or pulled out my pepper spray on my cell phone or anything like that, but I didn't. I just stood there, completely frozen. The smiling man crept towards me. And then he stopped about a car length away from me, still smiling his smile, still looking to the sky. When I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. What I meant to ask was, "What do you want?" in an angry, commanding tone. What came out was a whimper. What? Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can definitely hear it. I heard it in my own voice, and that only made me more afraid. But he didn't react to it at all. He just stood there, smiling. And then, after what felt like forever, he turned around very slowly and started dance-walking away. Just like that. Not wanting to turn my back on him, I watched him go until he was far away enough to be almost out of sight. And then I realised something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror as the distance everything grew larger and larger. He was coming back my way, and this time he was running. I ran too. I ran until I was off the sidewalk onto a better lit road with sparse traffic. Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be found. The rest of the way home, I kept on glancing over my shoulder. I was expecting to see a stupid smile, but he was never there. I lived in that city for 6 months after that night. I never went out for another walk. There's something about his face that always haunted me. He didn't look drunk. he doesn't look high. He looks completely and utterly insane, and that's a very, very scary thing to see. Right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. The story was written by, I believe, by Blue Tidal on Reddit. It is a very good story. I quite enjoy it. Also comes out with a very quite ominous picture there. Might be a bit too close. I'll see you later. There are very good animations made by it. This story as well. What can I say? I enjoy this one. I think I enjoy it more than most of the classic creepypastas, simply because I know what it is. So yeah, the song's Repulsive by Forgotten. Like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever you want, whatever. Just like, yeah. I think my memory card is somewhat close to being full, so I'm gonna need to stop recording. So anyways, yeah, like, share, subscribe, check out Blue Tidal's story, it's very good. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, Repulsive by Forgotten is the music in the background, and that's the check it out.